Hi, we're going to talk about cryptocurrency, proof of work, proof of stake. This is a picture of, there's a lot of mining here. This is a picture of a very large mining facility. You would have a bunch of these inside of there and you'd be mining for Bitcoin. Cryptocurrency, the very first one was run by the New York Times. It was just a validator and it had a blockchain that wasn't used as a currency. Then came along Satoshi Nakamoto, and there are people everyone thinks who actually was this person who has never come forward as the CEO or the leader of Bitcoin. But if you read, Hal Finney did a lot of the original work on the original blockchain. That's how the idea came to fruition. The email came out from Satoshi, and he asked developers to help him, and they wrote the idea for blockchain. So, what is a blockchain and how is it used and how is it validated? Um, well, in a word, this is the explanation used to explain what it's doing in the New York Times. It's authentication of a digital document with timestamps. So, but when it comes to verifying the authenticity of a digital document, it's much harder to determine if the document has been altered. Um, so, one of the things that they try to come up with is a what is a use of blockchain, something that can be validated publicly, and just the fact that you're validating it makes it everything that happened before it on the ledger valid. So first, what is digital that actually has what is something digital that has monetary value? And I have this quote. This is from 2011. 10% of all the M2 money, the money supply in our country, only 10% is actual cash. Most of it is not in cash form. It's digital. Um, it's on computers. So first, what is digital? Some other things that are digital. So if you have in-game purchases, video games have their own gold. World of Warcraft, this generation understands. There are things that actually have value that are not visible. So the blockchain itself, it's a publicly validated ledger of its self history. I like to use this diagram to show all the different properties of the ledger technology, but I think this overall, for this quick overview, I'm going to use Amazon. Let's just say, what if Amazon was an example of blockchain? Jeff Bezos is one. It's now one of the most expensive stocks. But what if you could invest in Amazon, not by buying stock, but by watching the current development of the company on a computer screen in real time? So if this was your computer in 1997, and every time you saw a new fulfillment center open, every time you saw it, you clicked a button. Let's say you clicked enter on your computer, you would get money. So you would watch your screen, hit enter, you get a reward. Every time you get that reward, you get a share of Amazon, or 20 shares of Amazon in 1997 dollars. So it would be worth $5 each. Not a lot now, but now not a lot then, but they're $2,000 each now, each share. So um, that is how it would work. You got to remember, every time you see a new fulfillment center, the chain's growing. It means more people are using it. Just like now, if you apply that to Bitcoin, it's not the same, but it's sort of the same. So we have Bitcoin. There's no CEO. That's a big difference. There are validators. They're not in front of a computer screen hitting enter. They're running a math equation to get the next to validate the blockchain and get the next block. It is still public, and everyone can see who is gating the blockchain. Most of it, but it's not by name. It's done by wallet address, which is letters and numbers. Um, so 21 million coins. Last will be mined around 2038, and you can now even buy options and even portions of coins. There are ETFs in other countries. There's Grayscale. There's ways for investors to get in to the blockchain and Bitcoin companies. So validators need energy. That's a negative. So we're going to go into the negatives. Definitely going to have to be that there's a lot of energy usage on proof of work. There's a halvening. There are times it goes from 20 to 10 every time you get your reward. And then there's even new ways of using it and sending it, which is something that's really great. It's like having fulfillment centers in your backyard. Everybody's Strike. It's the Lightning Network can use. They move. They are moving. They're moving money using the Bitcoin network, and it's very quick. So Bitcoin versus Ethereum. So Bitcoin and Dogecoin, they're energy depleting. They're called proofs of work. Every time you get the next, um, every time you validate and get the next block, they give you a reward, but it takes a lot of electricity to do it. There's also proof of stake, which there are these companies. There are many companies that do this as well. I think I left a couple out, like Aragon or Elrond. But holding, you can vote on. You get to vote. You get to use the net by using the network. You're going to eventually shape the network in the future. Um, and then there's a track here. Rob opens a wall, he scans it. It goes all the way through what's happening, how people are making money, how you move money. So this is just one example of Rob's request to send zero point 0.3 Bitcoin to his friend Laura. Uses in the real world. These are getting creative. I find a lot of these as I go along. I add more, but we have banking. It's good because your money won't be stolen. Everything's public. Um, Insurance. I think there's going to be a need. This is a little needed for an oracle, but maybe it can be run without it. There's ingredient tracking. There's voting. There's social security. There's NFTs, metaverse, more. This is a list of some banks that are getting ready to use blockchain technology. More things in the real world. I'm predicting. I want to. I think we're going to see more. This will eventually lead to people being able to have more satisfying jobs. Picking hobbies that are more helpful for people's mental health, mental wellness, and it'll lead to more people doing things for themselves and being more socially helpful in the communities. All because from home now you'll be able to do a lot of the things that we just can't check. You'll be able to change your wants. A lot of people, the idea of economics is you always have infinitely more want than desire to learn how to build something. Or if I asked you do you want a bigger house? Yes, but not everybody has the desire, as much desire, equal desire to build a house, and then you put whatever you want in it. If you learn how to build it yourself, you could build it as big as you want. Just have to make the money for it. But the wants in economics creates the scarcity. And I think that eventually a lot of scarcity will go away because of this. Just like almost like Tesla, how they open source all their patents. Blockchain is going to make things where people can actually watch, learn, see what works for other countries, other towns, other people. There'll be DNA tracing for cell regrowth and ending of diseases. City planning will be improved. Government policies and oversight will be better. Countries' infrastructure, you'll know, you can prove that to anybody, like there are bridges that are about to fail. Whereas now we don't really know. There's always people who are going to second guess it due to not being able to find factual news. And it will lead to no longer needing the zero energy idea. When you start realizing that you can use renewable resources and have no electric bill, you can use a blockchain, maybe even get to the point where you can use it for voting.